Hey, Hebrew fans, this is Todd, and hey, Merry Christmas for most of you that are still in the time zone that it's still Christmas time. So anyway, let me go ahead and it's funny. As a kid for Christmas, I remember one of my favorite Christmases I had one time was my brother got me a whole bunch of cool Micronauts, and Micronauts were some of my favorite toys growing up. I always wanted one of these toys called a Hornetroid, which later on, one of my friends, Mike, gave me pieces of his, but I never actually had one complete on my own. So I went on eBay the other day and bought chunks and pieces of a Hornetroid. It still won't be complete. I found somebody else some other parts I needed, but we didn't make the connection to buy them. So unfortunately, it's still not complete, but at least let's take a look at it and look at the Masters of the Universe connection to the Hornetroid. And maybe some other Micronaut stuff too. Let me go ahead and pull up my app on my phone so I can see your guys' comments. Let's see here. Your videos. Nope. 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 Usually I use my iPad for this, but it's charging, so let's see if it just pops up on its own. No. Come on, pop up. How do you get to your channel on here? Let me try again. Okay, your channel. There it is. Dun, 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 there it is. I found the video. Hooray. All right, so since I don't have my iPad, I did some printouts right here that we will just look at the printouts of what I have for evidence as opposed to pulling up pictures on the iPad. And let me go ahead and check my volume. Right, so my volume sounds okay. All right. Oh, I'm missing a light. Bright light. Oh. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So, growing up, one of my favorite toys was these Micronauts right here. They're super small, and they are really cool. They have lots and lots of articulation. They're made by the Mego Corp, for those that don't know. Hey, you are super early. Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas, Master Far. Happy birthday, He-Man. All right, so now as time went on, later on, I got my Masters of the Universe figures, which are quite a bit bigger than this. Let me go and grab a Origins figure, which is the same size as the 80s figures. And you can see the size difference. So I remember I used to have like a Micronaut City and rocket tubes and everything else. So I used to pretend like the He-Man figures were like giants compared to the Micronauts. They'd come into town and He-Man have to save the Micronaut City from Skeletor and his evil minions. And come on, stand. There we go. So you can see the size difference between them. There's quite a bit of difference. Now, one thing that made these figures so cool is you could take like this horse, for instance, and this guy right here. And this guy is a Force Commander or Prince Argon. And you can turn him into a centaur. And his fists would shoot off. He had a chest missile that would shoot off. These little pieces would shoot. And it was just kind of cool. Now, this was not his original head. This is his original head. For those of you that recognize this is actually a He-Man head. To look more like the comic that they used to use for the Micronauts comics, to look more like Prince Argon. So, there we go. Kind of a customized Dealy Bob. So, with that, let's go ahead and start to build the Hornetroid. Dun dun dun. Now I had to buy this back piece separately. I didn't realize mine didn't come with the back piece until after I purchased it. And someone pointed out online, I put pictures of them. And like, hey, you're missing the back piece. And of course I'm missing the piece that goes on top of here with some fins and some other pieces that go on here. So that's kind of a bummer. But we'll see what comes inside this set here. This was the first auction I got. If it's all good, of course, I'll leave the guys some good feedback. So let's go ahead and open in. Opening the Hornetroid. We will get it. Hey, Feliz Navidad. Hey, Dorky Hippie 81, thanks for joining us. Oh, pieces are falling already. Dun dun dun. What? You taped the Ziploc bag. Okay, now the one I had as a kid, the wings were broken. So I'm kind of afraid the way these wings are packed in here so tight. But I know they are super fragile. Super fragilistic expialidocious? I don't know. I'm forgetting some words there. Hornetroid. Chink, chink. Now, since my wings were broken as a kid, because my friend gave me his old one that he had kind of sitting around, I never got to see how this all worked because there's pieces missing, tons of pieces. And so I used to actually mount these wings on the back of my Phobos unit. And it's like a Phobos unit had wings. I'd put it into treads in the back. And that was kind of cool. But it looks like it has some kind of action feature. I can put this back on. There we go. Now, when they made this, they were kind of going into a new type of thing where things were half organic and half machine. Where the first Micronauts when they first released were like all machine and robots. Later on, they started to get some half organic stuff. And like they had like space aliens with glowing brains and all kinds of other stuff. So that made it a little bit different. And this was one of the half organic things where they took... Not sure if it goes up or down. I think it goes this way. Where they took and they made these things where they're half organic. Look at that. Flop, 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 flop. Now, where have I seen this before? This seems so familiar. Oh, I know where I've seen it before. Oh, the Fright Fighter. There it is. Let's see. Vader Game says I want to cross over Motu and Voltron. So this is a very similar build. Oops. To this. I mean, look how similar it looks. It's got the two windows here. It's like a big giant bug. It's got the tail that goes up on the back. It's got the flapping wings. It has four wings. It has these things coming down, graspers in front. So there is a lot of similarities. Now, I have bought all the pieces to remake one of these. And I've had one of my friends make retro pieces out of the guns and radar dish in the back out of a more rubbery material so it doesn't break. So that is kind of cool. Now, what about Castle Grayskull back in the 80s? Now, if you take a look at this picture of Castle Grayskull, this is the old 80s one. And hey, Jason, Merry Christmas. And the original gun they made for the prototype is actually the Hornetroid gun right here that they repurposed. And that is the gun right there that they used for the prototype. Now, I'm guessing these little pieces on the end here were probably some other Micronaut pieces too, because they had all kinds of weird little dome type pieces. Something similar to this, but not this one, obviously. So it's kind of funny how they just used Micronaut pieces to put together their prototype originally. So that's kind of fun. So you can kind of see the connection between He-Man and Micronauts. So I'm guessing some of the people that developed He-Man either had kids that were in the Micronauts or had Micronauts themselves, because there's just too many similarities. Now, does this actually come apart? I always wondered that, because it does. Look at that. Burp. That's cool. So you can pull off this little, like a skate pod almost. Let's go and put a guy inside of it and check it out. Oop. Yeah, and mine didn't have this cover at all, so I actually only had this, so I had to make a cover myself out of pieces of the city. I used triangle pieces and stuff, put little eyeballs on it, so it kind of was reminiscent, because that piece was long gone before I even got mine from my friend Mike. All right, straighten your elbow, put your hand in there. Now you think about it, this cockpit is actually pretty large for this small little figure. And there is a lot of space on both sides. We've seen a lot of vehicles from He-Man and other creations where there's just not a lot of space around the figure once you get him in there. Oh, I just can't get the knee. There we go. Got to get the butt right in there. Hooray! Let's put the top back on. And slide that back into place. Very cool. Again, like I say, I'm missing some pieces. The fins that go up on top of here. There's a large fin that comes up with two little fins coming off the top up here. And then also there's some other pieces along here. And I might have this upside down. I don't know. And obviously there's supposed to be something that goes right here that I'm missing. I don't know what it's supposed to go there. But for the most part, that's pretty cool. It's kind of a fun, cool design. Those don't stay in place. I'm guessing originally it was probably a much tighter fit, so it'd actually be difficult to move. So they probably stayed on their own. But it's just funny how much it's like the Fright fighter. I just can't believe how similar it is. Cool, cool, cool. Toy Poly has some cool stickers. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Yep. So, in a future video, I will be putting together the Fright Fighter the same way. Like I said, I got all new pieces for it. And my goal eventually is to remake the Fright Fighter so it can fit a full-size Classics figure. Now, not this, obviously. Which, you know, this is a pretty cool design. It's almost, I almost like the cockpit design better than the Fright Fighter design. Oh, there are wheels too. Wait a minute. Are these the pieces on the gun? You know what? These might be part of that piece right here. They might have pulled it apart and used those and added some more chunks on it. That's funny. Alright, I know, short, sweet video. Just like to share my love of Micronauts and show the modal connection. Oh, it's kind of funny. These here are not all my ones from my childhood. Now, Baron Karza is the one from my childhood. But a lot of the other ones are the new Hasbro ones they came out with. But my son, I gave him all my Micronauts when he was really little, my two oldest boys. And just about 3 months ago, he gave me back, maybe more than that, all my old Micronauts back. And it's funny because some of them are in pretty bad shape. I remember putting the stickers on here so it glows in the dark. And you can see that the yellowing from the front to the back difference. It's yellowed. Let me get a different light. This light's running low. There we go. And you can just see the yellowing difference. And look at the hue difference there is. It used to be gray like this, not yellowish gray. It's so cool. Oh, this guy's got some yellowing on him too, quite a bit. One of my mix match customs from years and years and years ago. Hornetroid was one of my favorites as a kid. Looks like he's had some different renovations going on. Now what's cool about these toys is these are before Transformers even existed. There were no Transformers when these came out. And need to find another arm. There we go. These joints are all so loose. So check this out. Here's how this guy worked. Is you would take your Hornetroid. These are both supposed to be pink or green or whatever color you had. And then he could fly with these, which was kind of cool. Ooh. He had these giant roller skates. And you could take these off and stick them right here for landing gear. And then take his legs, fold them up, and add a wing. Just like that. And now he could fly and have landing gear and burp, 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 burp. I mean, how cool is that? So it's always kind of fun to be able to transform these into different things. It's funny. These seemed so much bigger when I was a kid. They look so little. Ah, this guy's gone through a lot. I used to have them all in Tupperware. It's like my kids must have pulled them out of the Tupperware. What have we got in this box here? This is a mixture of the new stuff and the old stuff. Look at these cool wings. Oh. Anyway. Jason said he had the sarcophagus one. Yeah, that was a cool one. They had these little helmets that could come off. Space glider. Oh. They are a mess. Actually, his head's still in pretty good shape. This was my bug custom. I cut his fingers. He only had 3. Just like the comic. He had another hand in there somewhere too. Crazy, crazy. All right, thanks for joining me on this walk down memory lane and building the Hornetroid with me. I also wanted that Terrafant too, but then I saw it like online just recently. It's like, oh, it's not really that cool. Look how cool this head looked though. And that was such a cool design back in the day. All right, time to close the... Oops, sorry, that knocked over He-Man. Close the lid on these. Gothic Dude 1981. All right. And it's cool, you can see the size compared to the 80s He-Man. Just a little bit bigger. Now compared to classics, he's a little bit smaller. So not quite as menacing now next to a classics figure. Alright, so I can stand him up straight this time. Last time I had him bent over. Where is the back? I don't know where I stuck the back of the box now. Oh, what the heck? Oh, there it is. There it is. Seal them right up. There's my Micronaut display box. They're so cool looking. Even to this day, I just can't believe how small they are. Oh yeah, you could turn the horse into a chariot at chariot wheels. That was always really cool. Alright, I gotta fit that back in this box. Oh, you didn't see what I did. I stuffed the bag back in there, that's all. Alright, let's see. Problem with vehicles is where to put the space. It just gets eaten up. Yes, it definitely does. Hey Matthew, Merry Christmas to you too. Let's see, it looks like... Yes, it does look like that from Dune. Alright, anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks, John, for being here. Thanks, Gothic Dude, Jason, Jack. And I will talk to you guys next video. And again, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you had a good time with your family today or friends or reached out to loved ones. And that's all I got. Good journey.